Today, we are discussing Valentine's Day 2026. This is episode number 66 of Real Occult, where we apply numerology and astrology to the material world. So let's jump right into it. The other day, I overheard someone talking about their astrologer. They got an astrology reading, and the astrologer was telling them how horrible Valentine's Day is this year, and that if they were an evil astrologer, they would be telling people that Valentine's Day is a great day to start a relationship, great day to propose, great day to have your wedding. Basically, if they were evil, they would be saying Valentine's Day is a great day to take the next step in a relationship. And it rubbed me the wrong way the second I heard it. I'm like, I don't think that's true, especially for you as someone whose chart I've seen. And so then today, I heard another similar statement, or I read another similar statement, and it just grinds my gears because every single person's energy is so unique to deliver a vague, overarching description of the energy as being evil, as being horrible, as being the worst day possible to move your relationship forward is just blatantly false. It's just not reality. And so and I made a podcast on this earlier last year, I think when when Ketu moved into Leo, I believe is when I discussed it, because people were saying, oh, now that Ketu, detachment energy, has moved into Leo, I just ended my relationship. And I was explaining how that detached energy, Ketu and Leo, depending on where Leo sits in your chart, what house Leo sits in your chart, that could be the spark that allows you to enter a relationship. That detachment of, maybe this is the person. Maybe I shouldn't look for someone else or something better or something different. And you submit to the energy, which allows you to enter the relationship. And so the entire point of this message is every single transit will impact every single individual differently, even people born on the exact same day. So from a numerological perspective, people born on the same day will have different house structure within their chart. And so depending on where that sign sits, so let's just focus on Valentine's Day for this year. The second month of the one universal energy that is 2026. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6 is 10. So we are beginning a new 9-year universal cycle. The last cycle was from 2017, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 7 is 10, and ended in 2025. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 5 is 9. So we had that 9-year cycle. You could think of it as a bucket, a layer of paint, however you want to think of it. We are simply layering these cycles on top of each other as we move through our life. And so we are in the second month of the one universal energy. This gives the universal energy for that month 3 energy. 3 is childlike, it is playful, it is ambitious, it is perpetually optimistic. You also have some of the downsides of the 3. It can be moody. It can be a little entitled at times. I deserve this thing even though you don't. And so there's positives and negatives with every single number. There's trade-offs to everything. And so We are in a 3 universal month in February. It is the 14th. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 2 plus 2 plus 6 brings us to 17. So 1 and 7 is 8. We have the 8 base energy, that karmic base energy with the flavoring of the 1 and 7. 1 is new beginnings. 7 energy is divine intelligence, intuition. It is analytical, it is introspective, retrospective. And so with that type of analytical energy, retrospective energy, it can create periods or moments, sensations, feelings of isolation, of loneliness. The 7 energy tends to teach through material loss. If you just think of the number 7, it's a cross and then it goes down, across and then down. And so status quo loss. The 7 tends to teach us through material loss, pain, hardship, challenges that force us to analyze, why did this work? Why did that not work? And so that's 7 energy. 1 energy is new beginnings. It is creation, just like we're in this one universal year. So you have karmic life path being flavored with the 1 and the 7. You have the 14 energy of the day, the 1 and 4 new beginnings, 4 routine, with the 5 base energy, 5 entertainment, change, versatility, adaptability, attention grabbing. So you have the karmic change energy, karmic from the life path, change from the day energy in the 3 universal month that is February 2026. With just that information alone, it would tell you that karmic change for some people is amazing. It is perfect. You've been struggling. You've not been in a relationship. You've had horrible relationships. Here's your karmic change. You've learned your lessons. This is the person. On the flip side, you've been in a relationship. Maybe it's been stagnant. Maybe it's been stalling. Maybe you've had wandering eye. You've had different thoughts. And now this karmic change is going to release you as we're in this one universal year. New beginnings. And so my current spouse, you would say, we met in February of 2017. So we've spent this last 9-year cycle growing, learning together. This February is us taking another step. And so the entire point is depending on and that's just from a numerological perspective, let alone we could dip into this from an astrological perspective. Let me see what we have going on specifically. So on Valentine's Day of 2026, Jupiter is still in Gemini, Ketu still in Leo. We will have the moon in Sagittarius, Mars, action, moving forward in the slow growth of Capricorn. That's an amazing energy, depending on where this sign sits in your chart, where your Sagittarius sits, where your Capricorn sits. Then in Aquarius, we have the sun with Venus, Mercury, and Rahu. Sun, our internal soul, our internal life force, our ego, our personality, our self, like that internalness, combined with Venus, our value system, how we relate with others, with Mercury, analytical communication, information, knowledge, Rahu, obsessive energy. In Pisces, we have Saturn. So that Pisces energy, that transitional energy, the 12th sign, Saturn, discipline with the ring. There's no escaping the lessons we're meant to learn in this lifetime. That is Saturn's slogan. There's no escaping the ring. And so depending on where Aquarius sits in your chart, this could be the best period with Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Rahu all coming together. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be overwhelming. That's an overwhelming amount of energy. But if that is in, let's say, your 7th house, you'd be good to go. Depending on what and here's where the other question happens, what has led up to this point in time. And so we have the 3 layers of karma. There's the foundational layer of karma, which is from our birth chart, from the first breath we've had, from the first breath we took after the moment we were born, bam, that imprints us with the energy that we're going to carry throughout our lifetime. So Newton's third law, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you took your first breath at 10 in the morning versus you took your first breath at 3 in the afternoon, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For that action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction, because your foundational birth chart will be different. And that lays out the overarching plot line, theme, journey, path, life path that we are going to experience. That's the foundational layer from our birth chart. Next is the current layer of karma, which is the current transits we're experiencing. Like I mentioned, we have Ketu and Leo. So the current karma would be, what house is Leo sitting in? If Leo is in your first house, this is your self, your personality, your physical appearance. And so if Ketu is in your first house, during this transit will be, which is the current layer of karma, you will be experiencing that Ketu energy in that area of life. As Ketu would then move into Virgo, or we could even pick it different, as Saturn, let's say Saturn goes from Pisces and now Saturn enters Aries. If Aries is, we'll just say, let's say Aries is your first house. If Saturn moves from Pisces into Aries, you will now enter this period of karmic change with your personality, your physical appearance, all of these first house themes. And so that is the current layer of karma. That's our personal years, our personal months, our personal days, how those overlap on top of the universal energies, and where in our chart these energies are active at that time. That is the current layer of karma. That's what's currently unfolding for us. The experiences that are currently being delivered to us. Next, we have the created layer, the top layer, which is how the universe gauges the status of our learning. And so Ketu in your first house, you are going to experience these experiences that are supposed to change your actions. That's how we demonstrate to the universe we have learned our lessons. We are in the same conditions, we're in the same type of experience, and we respond differently. We have changed our actions. By definition, we have demonstrated we have learned. And so if you're talking to someone and they hold up a red card, bam, punch you right in the face. 2 minutes later, they hold up the red card again and you duck. Or you move, you take a step back when they throw a punch. You have demonstrated you have learned. Same conditions, they put up a red card, you changed your actions. You have learned. If they put up that red card and you didn't do anything, you got punched in the face the second time, another 2 minutes go by, they put up the red card for a third time and they punch you in the face again. You are being presented with the same conditions. In the middle of a conversation, the person holds up a red card. If you do not change your actions, by definition, you have not learned. And so the universe, through our current experiences, that current layer, which is based on the foundational layer, gauges the status of our learning based on that created layer of karma. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you do bad things happen to you. This is what most people think of as karma. It does go a little bit deeper, the middle and bottom layer, but that upper layer is how the universe gauges the status of our learning. Same conditions, new response, new reaction, you have learned. And so as we continue to go through these experiences, we can demonstrate to the universe we have learned our lessons by changing our actions. And this is all based on our foundational layer and then the current layer of karma that we are experiencing as it unfolds through our lifetime. And so depending on what's happened up to this point, let's say you have had the perfect person. You messed it up. You had the perfect person for a second time. You messed it up. Here's the third time coming around. you don't have the right person, but you fumbled the first two and now you're going to rush into it. Valentine's Day could be an absolutely horrendous day for you to enter that relationship, that 1 in 7 energy, that karmic energy with new beginnings, creation, 7 material loss, isolation, loneliness. That could be a horrendous day for you to do anything, imprinting that relationship with negative energy. On the flip side, if you're closer to my relationship status, we've been together for 9 years after this Valentine's Day. What's next? What are we going to experience? How are we going to imprint this fresh 9-year cycle? What do we want to use Valentine's Day to deliver into? What type of energy do we want to deliver and imprint into the universe? Newton's third law, for every action, equal and opposite reaction. What type of energy do we want to give the universe, as this is a karmic change day? Well, for my relationship, we spent 9 years hustling, grinding, building. I spent 2 years with my grandfather on in-home hospice. Wake up, meds, breakfast, change the diaper, meds, lunch, afternoon change, meds, dinner, repeat for 2 years. As I'm driving back and forth is when Grandpa's staying at my parents' house because they work during the day and we don't have the space at my house with my girl we got 2 daughters. So I'm driving back, I'm doing all this stuff. We had no free time. And then after that, we had the business that went through all of its issues during that hospice time where I just didn't have the skill set to maintain through that period of time emotionally, skill set within the business as a leader, as everything going on. So in our relationship, we haven't taken many vacations. I think in the 9 years we've had I think we did 3 vacations in 9 years. We rarely go out. We've just been stacking cash, building our little community, and figuring out where are we going in life, what do we want to do. And so for us, this karmic change, we might go out and we won't even be together on this Valentine's Day. Karmic change, because she will be out of state visiting family. And so that's a karmic change for us right there. We don't even have the option. With that said, if you are closer to me and you've spent the last 9 years or however many years with your partner, not really doing a whole lot, mostly being homebodies, saving money, building a family, maybe you have young kids. I currently run a 164 kid before school and after school program. And we also have a free online community, school.com/real occult, where we help parents eliminate stress while improving their child's spiritual foundation. So we're working with families all day long. We're helping parents eliminate stress, and we're building strong spiritual foundations for kids all day long. And so I'm working with parents all day long, working with families all day long. I've seen every type of dynamic you can imagine. When you got 160 kids and they're all there, you have a perfect distribution. Perfect, what was it? 20-20-60 distribution. Bell curve. Perfect bell curve. Because of the volume of kids and families that I interact with on a day-to-day basis. And so the families that are closer to us, homebodies, been stacking cash, been saving, have had young kids, this Valentine's Day might be the first time that they're going to go enjoy themselves. That karmic change. New beginnings, material loss. We're going to new beginnings of spending money. That's karmically bringing us together and creating the change of entertainment, adaptability, versatility. We're going to go out. We're going to have fun as a couple. 2 entirely different energies can be imprinted into the universe on the exact same day based on what has led up to this point in time. For another set of couple, that could be the day that is the perfect day to just end the relationship. Karmic change, we're going to go off, new beginnings for both of us. Free to explore with that adaptability, versatility, and change. And this is all happening from a karmic perspective. New beginnings of isolation, loneliness from that 7. It all depends. And this is why I do not give vague advice. I try to minimize the amount of actual advice that I give online because it is so personalized to the individual and their experience and what they want. So you'll see, I've made podcasts about enemy numbers and all this stuff. It's like 3s and 4s. If you're born on the 3rd and you're living with someone born on the 4th, or you're born on the 12th, any of the 3s, 3, 12, 21, 30, anyone with the 4s, 4, 13, 22, 31, or if that's in your life path, whatever. 3s and 4s combine together to create 7 energy. I see all the time people say 3s and 4s, enemy numbers, that 7 energy is just horrible, it's not good. Well, depending on what you're looking for out of that relationship, if you are looking to grow and build together, if you are looking to learn from someone, if you're looking for someone who is super interested in philosophy and traveling the world to faraway places and living in huts and tents and diving into the philosophical experience of the human condition, that 3 and 4 can get along amazingly well. The 3 brings out some creativity from the 4, and the 4 gives the 3 some structure. And they both learn from each other, and they don't desire that necessarily intimate relationship because of the direction in life that they're trying to build together. Everything is personalized to the person based on their foundational and current layers of karma. And so one day, all of us opened our eyes and just started remembering stuff. Kindergarten, 1st grade, we just started remembering things. And now years and years and years have gone by. Here we are. We didn't ask for any of this stuff, but our soul knew and chose to have this experience, knowing that this is what was required for us to learn the lessons we're meant to learn in this lifetime, bring it all the way back around to Saturn and its ring. There is no escaping those lessons. Our soul chose to be born into this experience so that we can have these experiences in order to fulfill our karmic destiny by fulfilling the role we're meant to fulfill for others. It really is that simple. And now how big of a role you fill is just simply how much energy do you allow the universe to flow through you. So like I mentioned with my hospice experience, I had a little kinesiology business. I had clients here in the United States. I had clients overseas, and I was doing work 24/7 around the clock. I had a couple Italian clients. I believe my Polish client came in at the very end of that. So we had all kinds of crazy time changes, which worked out for me because I was doing hospice during the day. So early mornings, late at night, I was able to interact with my European clients. And so whether I had 50 clients, 500 clients, or 5,000 clients, I was going to lose more than half of my business in that first year because I did not have the skills required to emotionally handle the hospice experience while also taking responsibility for delivering the results that I prided myself on. And so as the results started to get less and less, and I felt less confident taking accountability for the results that clients were paying for, I stopped taking on clients. And then as I did that, and a few people left, and a few people left, and a few more people, bam, half the business is gone in the first year. And so if I had 500 people, then I would have just been down to 200 clients. If I had 5,000, I would have lost 2,500. Either way, that type of experience was headed my direction because I needed it. And that was how I was going to learn the lessons I was supposed to learn, by going through that experience. The intensity, the magnification of the experience all boiled down to the inputs I gave the universe. So instead of spending $5,000 advertising to get my 50 clients, if I would have spent $50,000, maybe I would have had 5,000 clients. If I would have spent $500,000 advertising, maybe I would have had those 5,000 clients. Who knows? The more inputs I would have given on the front end, the more clients I would have had on the back end, which would have just magnified the experience of losing them. So everything just boils down to how much energy are you willing to allow to flow through you, because you are fulfilling the role you're meant to fulfill in this lifetime, whether you like it or not. We're all locked into this place. We were all born here, and one day we opened our eyes and started remembering stuff. And those experiences that have brought you up to this point in time have laid the groundwork for this Valentine's Day. We're going to bring this all around. We got off track here. This is infinitely longer, way longer than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a quick 5-minute breakdown. Everything that's happened up to your life, in your life up to this point in time, was supposed to happen so that you could be exactly where you are, being the exact person you are at this point in time. When Valentine's Day hits, for some of us, it's going to be an amazing turning point in our relationship, that karmic change. For other people, it's going to be a release of karmic change. You've fulfilled your karmic duty. You are no longer tied to this person. For other people, this will be the time that this karmic experience is entering your life. And so if you would like more information for how you as an individual can take advantage of these energies as we move through them, check out our free school community, skool.com/real occult. It's completely free. Like I mentioned earlier, we work with families all day long. We help parents eliminate stress. We help children improve their spiritual foundation. And we do it all day long for free. School, skool.com/real occult. During the day, I'm working in person with 164 kids with my before school, after school program. So we're working with families all day long is the whole point. If you would like to take advantage of this Valentine's Day for your family, check out our community. You can sign up, you can join, and we can schedule a free deep dive reading and strategy session for yourself and your family so that you can take max advantage of this one universal year, kicking off this 9-year universal cycle. And this Valentine's Day is the first of this 9-year cycle. It's setting the tone for this karmic change that's going to be happening in the love life. And so depending on what house or what planets are sitting in your 5th, 7th house, what signs are there, is going to change how this transit will be impacting you, how this experience will be impacting you. If you'd like more information and personalized assistance, school.com/real occult. If you've made it this far, you are a rock star. I genuinely appreciate you for listening. The universe is on your side. The universe wants you to win. It's so important to remember that. Through these ups and downs, these hardships, challenges, barriers, obstacles that we're presented with, the universe is on our side. It is simply gauging the status of our learning by delivering us these experiences. How we respond determines what experiences we will have next. The universe is on your side. I'm on your side. I want you to win. I want you to win as well. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, Tristan@realoccult.com. That's Tristan@realoccult.com. And I will talk to you again soon.